with you on a Friday? Listen, I'm happy that you're here on a Friday. And I know a couple other guys that are happy that you're here on a Friday. Let me hold on. Let me build this a little bit better. And let me bring my friends to you. That's right. We got theCrashz3ro and Adventures with David. Oh, man. Just the boys are back in town. Let's start. We'll just go left to right. Crash, introduce yourself to the fans.
I am theCrashz3ro. I'm a content creator. I do a lot of theme park vlogging, food reviews. I go to usually Knott's, Disney. I gotta go to Universal, but I do a lot of theme park stuff, tips and tricks when you guys to go, give you guys some heads up on rides and food prices and so forth.
Nice. And to the right, David, who are you?
Oh, hey everybody. I am here. My name is David. I host Adventures with David on YouTube and other social media platforms. I do cons, conventions, haunts. I do everything. You name it. I've probably even done it all across Southern California, except for the 17th door. But I'm going to be traveling out soon, so we'll find out more details later on down the road. But I love what I do. I'm a travel blogger. I love food. I love entertainment. This is awesome. And we have a great group of people here.
Yes, we do. And oh man, they're pouring in all David's friends, all my friends, all of Crash's friends. They're all here, gentlemen. We know that the night is young, but it's also the kickoff to the weekend. So let's try to just get the ball rolling, shall we? Let's just get the ball freaking rolling. And I want to do it with something that happened yesterday. Nobody was expecting it, but if you follow Horror Night Nightmares on X, then you were treated to a little bit of this. That would be Speculation Map, I believe, version 3. You know what? Actually, I'm going to try to make this easier for everybody to read and make it bigger. I had a little bit of a chance to go over some of this stuff, and did I pull up the right one? This isn't the right one. Let me go over there. I was like, wait a minute. What's happening here? There we go. Orlando? That was weird. We're doing Orlando this year, guys. Surprise! Got everybody tickets to go to Orlando with us. I looked at it a little bit. I know, David, you and I talked about it a little bit. Crash, I'm not sure if you had a chance to really look at it.
I did look at it, yes.
Okay, cool. So we're all kind of in agreement as to what we think is pretty much confirmed, not confirmed. I think David, you were there last. I think you were there a couple days ago, so you probably have the best vantage point as to where things are. Right. Do you want to give it a rip here?
All right, here we go.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just gonna do like a wheel of circle.
Yeah, let's start at we'll start at 12 o'clock and we'll work our way clockwise.
All right. So the little camera right there. That's gonna be stage 15, technically 12. Is gonna be FNAF. So FNAF is gonna be there, which is Five Nights at Freddy's, dude.
And if I know, is it confirmed?
No, none of this is confirmed. They haven't announced anything yet. Yeah, but we will say this: Horror Night Nightmares are rarely that wrong.
Yep.
Like they get. I think last year, they got like 85 or 90% of their guesses correct in both parks.
Yeah.
So
we'll call it words around the water cooler.
Are saying that. Yes.
Five Nights at Freddy's are going to be possibly coming in stage 12. And looking at stage 12, it's empty. There's some boxes out there. It's still empty. I know, John Murdy, if you're watching, pretty sure you are. You're messing with us. You're messing with us because I know that is somewhere around stage 12 or 15, somewhere around there is the FNAF or the woodwork. Okay, so let's keep going down. We have Scarecrow the Reaping, of course. That's going to be our number 2, which is going to be in Vegas and over here in Hollywood as well.
Not happy about that.
Exactly. We'll get into that one.
Yeah,
because I'm not happy either. And the next one, I'm not very happy about either.
No,
it's the Terror Tram. The Terror Tram is it's speculated. I have to keep using that word. Speculated for the Blumhouse. Ugh. We'll get into that one
again.
Trash bags. Of course, Mr. the Clown himself, terrorizing the entire, guests out here. It's Art the Clown. And if you guys actually, seen all of our content, we cover a lot of conventions, and there's a lot of Art the Clowns types. So we don't
Very
even know
big
what
cult
type of
following
Art the
now.
Clown we're going to get. All right. So, and then Poltergeist. Looking at the houses on both of them, I'm 90% sure that there's going to be Terrifier and Poltergeist.
Agreed.
Now, looking at the thumbs up, of course, we already know Fallout. It's going to be coming out to the UBE. Is it UBE?
UBE, yeah.
UBE. I thought, on the most part, it would have been WBE. Okay, sorry. I'm getting into it. We'll get more into that. Now, the piñata, I'm gonna throw that. Okay. I'm just gonna throw that out the window. The piñata, no. I think at the most part, what we're maybe even looking at is Isla de la Muñecas.
Okay.
And then I'll discuss that one. But yeah, and then the
Yeah.
top one we have, which is just announced by A24, Jason Voorhees.
Right.
And now we have the WWE Chamber of Horrors. Shotzi, Scarlett, I'm looking for you guys. That's right. The WWE Chamber of Horrors is coming. So there you go.
Boom. I think you're spot on with every single one of those. That's pretty close to everything I had. I still think Parisian Courtyard is going to be some sort of Monstrose related thing, Latin American heritage deal that he's been doing. I don't know why he kind of just picked that spot for those, because like it was La Llorona, then Monstrose, then Monstrose. So carry on, the legacy there. But it's fine, but
yeah. Well, it's because it's next to the French-based bistro, so it kind of gives that cobblestone, that old style feel to it.
It matches,
and it's easy to attach a scare zone to it,
and it's always musty in there.
Always musty, always musty. Faithkeeper's coming in with the hot takes. The Weeknd coming back in Stranger Things. Having been to Six Flags last weekend, they still have the Hawkins High stuff up on that warehouse. If I know Six Flags like I think I do, they're just going to leave that up this year and rerun it. I don't think Stranger Things, like I know people want Stranger Things season, what are we on, 5 now?
Yes.
Like the final season to be at Horror Nights, because we know Universal will actually do it justice as compared to Magic Mountain. Now, that being said, I got to be honest with you. I was never a fan of Hollywood's Stranger Things mazes. I always felt cheated because the ones in Orlando just seemed 10 times better. Kind of the same way the Ghostbusters maze was, the first one. Last year's was actually not bad. But yeah, I don't think Stranger Things, and I don't think The Weeknd either.
No.
People were more likely to see Lady Gaga than The Weeknd.
Correct.
But I don't know. That's
all right.
I don't know. Lady Gaga's weird enough to where I might be actually intrigued to see what she could pull out of her ass and put up there. I never saw The Weeknd as like a dark figure until I saw that first maze, dude, and that was like the maze of the year for me. That first Weeknd maze was freaking awesome. Should we get into how upset we are about Scarecrow coming in, and then I can tell you why, like my theory about all of this.
Give me your theory why you think Scarecrow.
So here's my theory on what I think is going on here. So you're seeing a lot of mazes that seem to be kind of returning mazes. You got Scarecrow, Blumhouse, Poltergeist, possibly something in Parisian Courtyard that can be rehashed like he has the last couple nights, and Jason. He's done numerous times, Jason.
Yes.
In fact, I'm pretty sure some of those sets that they're using in Dungeons and Dragons right now are from old Friday the 13th mazes that they've had back in the day.
I can see that.
Because of this, and John Murdy, he tweeted out a few days ago, working on something, not maze or scare zone or anything related, but I think you guys will like it. I heard through the grapevine back in my days working at Universal from people that weren't the biggest John Murdy fans, but still worked with him a lot, that he was actually the whole reason why he has been focusing on original mazes and being very insistent on bringing in celebrity guest builders and like The Weeknd and Slash and Alice Cooper is he's writing a book. And apparently he's been writing this book for about 10 years. And he wants forewords and references from all of these high-end names and figures. He wants to be lumped in with these celebrities. And I truly believe, and this is why I don't think we've seen him at the park this year at all. I don't know. I think he said he's flown from also he moved to Ireland a couple of years ago and hasn't really discussed any desire to move back. Not faulting him for that. I would probably be in the same boat if I had the opportunity. But he doesn't seem. Another reason why we haven't gotten any announcements from any of the mazes yet. He seemed to go really late into the season, writing treatments for the stuff later than usual. And he just seems a little bit more disinterested in the event as a whole this year.
So you think it'll be his last year? Is that
right? If it's not this year, maybe next year. I don't think this will be his last year, only because I think he's going to announce his retirement, or like this will be my last thing, because he's going to want that pageantry and that hurrah, and he's going to want the people telling him no, don't leave. But I really think this year he's focused on the release of this book, and once the book comes out, I think that's going to determine whether or not he leaves or not.
You'll probably do one more year to promote the book.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Keep in mind, this is just kind of where I stand. I don't dislike John Murdy in the least bit. I know a lot of people think I come across as a John Murdy hater. I'm very, very critical of his work lately, because I've seen what he's capable of from the early 2010s, back in the day, the late 2000s, when it was just popping off, to what Horror Nights has become now. And it really feels like there's been a bit of a paradigm shift between Hollywood and Florida. But it makes sense, because the creativity in Florida is dispersed amongst several different creative directors. John Murdy has insisted to be doing all of this himself for the longest time. And I think that's starting to show. That also being said, John Murdy's original stories and maze concepts are still the best in Southern California. Yeah. Since Pandora's Box, I've loved La Llorona when it was just written by him in 2013 or 2014 when it first came out. Dude, I still get goosebumps thinking about it. Like, I'm like The Rock. That first year of La Llorona, when they had the weeping women wandering around Main Street, that was peak John Murdy. Yeah. And I feel like his focus is elsewhere. That's just what I think. I don't know. You guys can talk. I've been talking for too long.
Well, Chris made a good point. Chris West. He said he tweeted. John Murdy had tweeted he wanted to go to 60, and his wife told him to go until he's 65. He's currently 58.
Yeah.
So 7 more years of Murdy.
Well, he also because his original contract was up 2 years ago. So he renewed. So who knows how long that new contract is running for? Yeah. Maybe it was a 10-year contract. So when he was 55, so maybe he will go to 60. Who knows? Maybe
the Friday 13 Jason will deliver, since there hasn't really been a movie out for that character in a minute.
Oh yeah, there doesn't have to be a movie out. Every year. See, the thing is, here's the cool thing about the icons of horror. Whether it's Leatherface or Freddy Krueger or Michael Myers, there doesn't have to be a movie out, because there's already a fan base built in to all of those franchises. And it got to the point, especially with Halloween, where he was doing it like every year. He was making up his own stories. The Ghost of Michael Myers, The Curse of Michael Myers, The Return of Michael Myers. There didn't have to be a movie or a show or anything about it. Just because the lore was already there and people just wanted to see the character. And I feel the same way. I think a Friday the 13th maze would be great. I think he he overdid it back in the day, and then he backed off. So to see a return is cool. I think that's the smart way to go, but it just seems a little cop outish because, in my opinion, we're just going to see the same sets and the same thing because there really hasn't, unless he's got some whole like he did with Leatherface last year. He's like, look, and like he comes to Midsummer Scream and he's like, I got this whole new story. Me and Greg Nicoretto we were just riffing, and we got this whole story and this whole concept out. So here's what it is, and it's Jason Voorhees' mom now owns a camp, and
That's right.
she brings in kids to for
Yeah.
Jason to slaughter to make her soul stronger. I don't know. I'm just spitballing here.
That's right. Yeah. I forgot about the TV show, Crystal Lake. Yeah.
Yeah. Chris also said 45th anniversary of Friday the 13th. So there's a lot here.
Oh, so speaking of that, the reason why he was saying that Blumhouse is going to be the theme for Terror Tram is because they're celebrating the 15th anniversary.
Yeah.
But can we just get like a scare zone of Blumhouse for the 15th, or can we just get something else? I know everyone's gonna be like, "Oh man, this guy's just barely coming in and doing all these speculations. Now he's saying something." No, no, no. But it's so true. You can do so much, John. If you're listening to me, honestly, you can do so much. The Kyoto brothers, I guarantee it would actually be all in on this. John Massari would actually be on this because, again, you don't need Slash. You don't need any other person. You have John Massari, and he can compose a beautiful masterpiece. And you know what? Can you imagine going through the Terror Tram and you're looking left and right, and here comes like different clowns coming after you with like the cotton candy guns? That'd be
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
And actually, the video game just came out at PC.
Yeah,
So they
that's
can actually
true.
make it into a
That's
PC
right,
version of
yeah.
the game. That would be
That's right.
amazing.
That's very true. And while we're at it, bring back the old pathway on the Terror Tram. I don't know if this might predate you guys a little bit, but the Terror Tram, it always dropped you off in that same place. But the way that the path used to go is it used to go from the Bates Motel, and instead of turning and going up straight to the Psycho House, you actually made a left. There's a dirt path there that kind of goes up and around where the Hollywood sign is now. And they used to that was where I actually had my first encounter with a guy in a ghillie suit. Because it would be really dark up there, and they'd have people just kind of crouched down on the side, and they would just they had the little shakers and they'd pop up and get you. But they based that one year they based that off of Jason Voorhees, just that little spot, and they would have like fake campsites and stuff. But I don't know. I think the reason they do that now is I think it's an ADA thing. It's a little bit of a steep hill, so you got to be in somewhat shape to be able to do it and not die. So I think that might be why they did it. I think they just wanted to shorten the pathway. And to be honest, I like how they added like little scare tunnels in the whole area. Like they added the next to the Psycho House. You've got that little. It was like Black Cat Alley or something, or it was the Purge, I guess, last year. But they've got a couple different little houses now. When they did Larry Larva, they had all of the little houses and stuff, and so that's cool. So it makes it feel a lot more mazy than just here's the back lot of Universal and here's some monsters that are going to scare you.
Yeah. Talking about Jason Voorhees and it having the 45th anniversary, I know I'm just kind of going back and forth, but I just thought about this right now, was that, Ash from Ash vs. Evil Dead? He was actually in a podcast. Bruce Campbell, there you go.
Yep.
But yes, Ash was actually in a podcast talking about there was talks, and I'm pretty sure you guys know this. There was talks of Ash versus Jason versus Freddy.
Yes, I remember that.
Yeah,
that was like a while ago.
I saw that too.
So
and
I piggyback on what you're saying. Hey, what if they do something different? Yes. Why don't they do something absolutely amazing? And they just bring in Ash versus Jason. That would be crazy.
I'm down with that. I mean, they had Alien vs Predator and a Freddy vs Jason back in the day. And those houses were great.
Didn't Ash have his horror house?
Ash had one.
Yep. And Ash had one too. It was Ash vs Evil Dead. I could have done without the rubber Ash face masks. I feel like they should have just hired people to just play Bruce Campbell, play Ash.
There was a few people. There was a few people that looked like him. So
the
funny thing was, my wife doesn't get scared whatsoever. and she just laughs, but she enjoys it. She doesn't like be obnoxious about it. She'll be like,
Yeah.
"Rah, oh,
She
nice."
saves that
She'll
for
keep
you.
walking.
That's why we
Yeah,
got
she
to do
does.
it. We got to be the
I'm
obnoxious
more like the
ones.
sympathy pains. Uh, so as I'm going through, right, the Ash goes, "Whoop," and then she goes, "Oh, nice." He goes, "Thank you."
In character and
Did you
everything. I
just get
love it.
the? Did you get the? Thank you. Oh my gosh.
I love it. That's awesome.
But yeah,
hilarious.
that's what I would love to for them to bring is Jason versus Ash or something like you said, a crazy original idea.
Yeah,
But
and I think
we'll save the
that's
original
going.
ideas for Scary Farm. Just kidding.
You're not. I mean, you're not
so,
wrong there.
so they're not
Um,
bringing back Megan 2.0?
Yes,
that's
they
probably going
are.
to be in Blumhouse, the Terror
Yeah.
Tram.
Oh, okay, the Terror Tram.
Yeah, she'll probably host it again.
And do you think Chucky will have his boring talk show again?
God, I hope
No.
not. I don't think that played well. I don't think they're
They
going
need
to
to bring
that back.
Chucky from the 90s. That
Yeah,
Chucky needs to come
yeah,
back.
yeah. Was it Chucky's? Gosh, what was it called?
Chucky's
When he was up where
Family Guy
Snowball
style,
is.
I don't know, but it was like
It was like Chucky's Roast Emporium or something like
Yeah,
that.
roasting
Well,
something like
do
that.
you guys
Yeah.
still remember when he was at the entrance?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cursing
Oh,
people
yeah.
out? That
Yeah.
was funny.
And
That
that
was
was.
absolutely incredible.
Yep.
That
They've
was
had.
when it was a mature event with the go-go dancers, the
Yeah.
flames in your face, the lights
Jeez.
like this, and epilepsy happening.
Those
Yeah.
those were good times, man. Back when the smell of the houses was making people legit throw up. I remember the first. Oh, before I do, I put this comment up for a reason. Makes you wonder if he's retiring as a tribute year. Bring all the else. I don't think that's this year, Danielle, but I think that's a good look at something he would definitely do.
Oh,
Whether it's this year or not, I think a tribute to John Murdy would definitely be something he would do in his last year as creative director at Universal. And he's got the keys to the kingdom. Universal's going to let him do whatever he wants. He's made this. He's made this event the piece de resistance of the year at any theme park. So that's definitely something that could happen probably in the coming up years. And I think that's how we'll know it'll be John Murdy's thing. Like I said, I think he'll announce it early, and I think something like that, like a big, like he'll have like his icons of horror, bring back the director and Jack the Clown, and who's the other? What was the name of the other clown that he had lurking around the back lot all those years?
oh my gosh, yes.
Chris probably
what was-
knows. I
What
forgot
was
his name.
He had a little balloon like this, right?
Yes, he had the balloon.
Yeah,
His
the balloon,
Hollywood
yeah.
Harry. Hollywood Harry.
Hollywood Harry.
There you go.
Hollywood Harry?
His face, dude.
Yeah. Like, yeah. It's probably some sort of iconic thing like that, and then just bring in like the John Murdy All Stars or something of the sort.
Dude, what if they bring in John Murdy like in every single maze, like a Stan Lee? That would be funny.
Like hitting
he's just
characters?
always got to be seen. Like it's just that would be
Oh wait,
hilarious.
no,
dude.
sorry. He doesn't do this. I remember one time before I was like, "Hey, can we get a scene where we're both running away from monsters?" He goes, "I don't run away from monsters." Like,
Yeah,
oh,
I'm way too cool,
dang.
dude. Okay. I do want to show some of this stuff because I think this is clutch. So this is the front. This is from Adventures with David this week. He was nice enough to send me some photos. This actually blows up my entire theory on how I thought this maze was actually going to run backwards. They were going to go back to the original layout where they would have the entrance on the backside of the mummy. Because I was like, well, maybe John Murdy doesn't want us seeing this facade coming up like in such clarity because we have such great vantage points now from the Starway.
Some spoilers.
Yeah. So, but I'm guessing he doesn't care. So he's just, this is what it looks like now. A lot of people were showing side by sides of this and The Last of Us from a couple years ago. And I really think the only similarity here is this little triangular spot over here on the side, which I think that's been in all of the builds, most of the builds anyway, because that's kind of the access point for the actors and the crew. to get to the back because they got to go around kind of this little section along the right here to go to the break room, which is the building, that little air conditioned building on the right. But that was super cool. I like seeing this. And this was
Quentin?
this was what? Oh, hey, Quentin joined us. What's up, dude? Welcome to the club.
So
The staying out late and being home by ourselves club.
Welcome to the Thunderdome.
Welcome to the Thunderdome.
2 men enter, 1 man leave.
Exactly.
Okay, so looking at it right now, I'm looking at
Mhm.
this probably like the 15th or 25th time because I was kind of editing from this past week.
Yes.
And so, what if you're right? Okay, I'm going to throw this for a loop. What if you're right? What if this right here is the exit
I mean,
and we just don't know? What if we just don't know?
it's
I'm
it's
just
always
saying.
a possibility. I would never throw anything like that past John Murdy. The guy's kind of a genius when it comes to trolling. He's next level. So I mean, and I honestly I don't know if they. My thing is I don't know if they want people in line right there while they're working on that hillside. I mean that could potentially be dangerous because I don't see those braces being there at that point in September.
See, something's weird about that.
Yeah,
What
and
if?
I mean, if you go around the other side, that's a big thick wall.
Yeah.
But who knows?
But
Like,
what if it's a campsite? What if it's a portion of the facade
yeah,
that's what is it, the cabin? You go inside the cabin. I'm just saying.
yeah,
Like it's just you never know.
I know you. Yeah, you won't know until you actually. It's funny because we didn't know what this was until he announced it. Probably
Yep.
because it was an original, and nobody would have guessed the weird whatever it was called. I don't remember. The zombie maze that was there. Everybody thought Fallout.
Was not infected. Was it? What was that?
It was. I don't remember. I wish. I keep saying
remember.
Nocturnal Hunt, but that was Six Flags, which was also another weird zombie maze. But this one was. Yeah, it was like dead infected or something like that.
Yeah, I think that's when zombies were in back then. Like everyone was doing
Yep.
zombies.
I know. Here's an interesting question here. I think Murray was in peak during Frankenstein meets Wolfman in 2019. Here was my problem with Frankenstein meets Wolfman. And this might be a me problem, 100%. I felt like there wasn't enough Frankenstein. There was a lot of Wolfman, but I felt like I'm a big fan of Frankenstein's monster, and I don't think there ever would be enough. But I felt like that could have used more Frankenstein's monster. I liked when they did what was it? It was like Universal in 2021 when they did like the Universal Monsters house right there in the Parisian Courtyard.
Right.
Yes.
I felt the same way then as well. They didn't use enough Frankenstein's monster. They've slowly been kind of weirdly converting
What do you think
Bride.
that is? Because tall actors?
No, because they just use stilt walkers.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really don't know.
When you say
Is the
peak
Wolfman more
John Murdy,
creepier, more scarier?
Maybe.
I
They
think
don't find
peak John
Frankie
Murdy was Bride of
scary?
Frankenstein.
A couple years ago with the masks on, with the COVID masks.
Well, here's the thing. They worked really well. Even though they had facial stuff blocking them, they made it work. Like I have
Yeah.
to to be honest, like I was in that maze by myself. And that's when I was starting to become a YouTuber at the most part. And I'm like, hey, YouTube, let's go. I have my
I
camera
remember
on.
that. I remember that.
Yeah.
It was at the end of the night. I'm like, all right, cool, let's go. And I was looking over and she was like, oh, give me 1 second. Yeah, we got a YouTuber by himself. And I'm like, oh, what's going on here? So
Here we go.
I was going through the entire thing and they just went ballistic. They were like hands near my face. They were faces near my face. And I feel like, at the most part, that was amazing. That was one of the peak moments
Oh, yeah.
ever I've ever felt.
Mm-hmm. And that's probably why they did it.
Yeah.
But I'll ask you this: do you think that was peak performers or peak John Murdy?
Well, that's a good one.
I
don't know.
Because you can get a great house concept, but the performance just isn't there. Whether it's too hot or there are too many people calling sick, or it's the end of the season and you just don't have the performers there anymore, or
I say
the
both.
opposite. You know,
I
yeah, I
say
was gonna
both.
say,
Okay, honestly, because I remember going to Universal Halloween Horror Nights that time multiple times,
hmm
and the same experience happened multiple times. So
so they
the
got
story
good
was
performers.
amazing. Yeah. It just they everything worked.
hmm
Everything worked to it was needed. Oh, and their scare zone. There was a moment there where I had my camera and you know what? I let my guard down. This is why I think most part, please, we need more of this where the performer like literally I kid you not, walked over and was like, "Oh," scared someone and he goes, and I was like, "Oh, hello there." But I was like way far away, right? And she just made a beeline and then went like this and almost stuck me with the syringe. I'm like, oh my God.
And you
And
saw
I'm
it
like,
coming, and it still made you jump.
yes. And then here comes La Llorona afterwards. I'm like, wow, what's happening here?
Classy.
But see, we need that. We need
Yes.
more interactions. And I have to say, to be honest with you, we need less. I I don't want to say I don't want it's a hot take. We need less phones. We need more interactions. We need
hmm
facial reactions to it. I know we all have cameras, we all have this,
Yeah.
but at the most part, like as long as we don't actually put a camera in their faces, like
Yeah,
right here, I think at the most part we would have another peak performances.
Yeah, I
a
agree.
different reaction, most definitely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Different reaction.
100%. I agree.
All
Cool.
right, what's next on the menu?
Let's go ahead and transition now into. Well, let me. I'm trying to think of where we can go here. Let's just do this. Let's go ahead. Let's bring us all back. I want to. We'll go from Horror Nights. We'll go to Knott's, but we'll start with Scary Farm. How's that sound?
Okay.
And I know we had. Let me pull this up real quick. We had some movement with the. Where did it go? Oh, here it is. We had some movement with the Bloodlines house or whatever. I made just a little, just a little quick video, just kind of where we are with the updates, and I'll go ahead and mute it. Just kind of what we're at now with this whole. I started with the pile of junk, only because I think this is actually important. This little pile of wood that's standing here, that's like upright.
hmm
I think these are walls that they're waiting to get put inside. If you look at them, they actually there's a windowsill on some of them and stuff. So I don't know. Yeah, so take that, with a grain of salt, I guess. But that could be something there.
That one right there. So if you look to the far right side, do you see those stacks?
Yeah,
That's right there. It looks like something that's going to be in that maze.
yeah. And it's
Mm.
if you've been, I mean, I know you guys have been keeping up, but everybody else, if you've been keeping up, uh, that stack of wood used to be like 4 stacks of wood. It's dwindling, so they're using it.
Yeah.
Um, so they're building in there, whatever it is. Who knows? But I don't know. So this is what we have now on the. Well, we actually have more than this now. This was from Tuesday, and I took video in the morning when I got there, and then I took video in the afternoon when I left, and there was even more done, and that'll be at the end here. But I know, and David, you were talking about this when just the primer went up.
hmm
Just like what you thought was going to be here. We were focused a lot on the pillars, and I saw before this all went up, they always have these stacks of like the rock base that they use for a lot of their mazes, this castle stuff. They always have it around, and I saw it laying around, and I didn't know where they were going to put it. And for the longest time, I was like, well, that's not going to go on the outside because this looks like it's going to be some sort of house. I guess it could still be a house. But I don't like this. This is like a rock structure texture, right? Like it's like almost like a castle, but those windows aren't a castle. So here, obviously, this is what we were focused on in the very beginning. Those pillars that they've covered up, and it's because they put those little balls on the top.
Yep.
Those look like Christmas balls to me.
They do.
I think Chris is on. He's on something here too. A Christmas Carol house. How crazy would it be to have like a Charles Dickens nightmare scenario?
Well, who owns the rights to Krampus?
Nobody anymore, I don't think. It was a Universal movie.
Oh my gosh.
But I don't think it'll be Krampus. But here's the thing. Maybe not Krampus,
or
the movie
evil
Krampus.
Jack Frost?
Because, yeah.
They could do Krampus because
I was just
you
gonna...
don't yeah, okay,
go ahead. No, go ahead. Because I think you and I are in the wrong... No, I've talked way too much, dude. You talk.
So, in LA, you guys, I'm pretty sure you guys can attest to this. In LA, they had Krampus Knott. Krampus Knott was a character from Germany itself, and he would go and take the kids, and they would do like this whole spiel. Now, just looking at that, I started talking about it because it's so true in my vlog, because Krampus could be coming, because yes, you don't need to own the rights of Krampus. You just got to own the rights of the movie. They don't need to make a movie of Krampus. They don't need the movie of Krampus. They don't need anything else. All they need is a character. Character of Krampus. There it is. Like, that would be amazing. I can definitely see a Christmas Carol house, but you could actually just make it into just a full-on gingerbread's attacking you, a Jack Frost attacking you, and Krampus just attacking you at the very end. I'm just saying, that's awesome.
I think that actually that's a good point. I mean, it kind of is how they got away with doing Pinocchio Unstrung a few years ago, because everybody thinks Pinocchio is a Disney property, when in fact it's not. You know, it's an old is it a Brothers Grimm tale?
Yes.
That Disney adapted and made their own movie out of, and I think this kind of falls along the same lines of that. I'm gonna kind of bring this up because I want to share this tab instead.
Or just bring back Steamboat Willie. Come on. Or the
no one owns it. Screamboat Willie.
Disney will get mad. Disney, all Disney will be mad, and they'll be forced to take it down.
You think so?
No.
Yeah, like all the jokes they did, the hanging last year, all the Disney jokes, they got to take them out because Disney got offended and they got mad. And
probably hitting a little too close to home. But here's Krampus, right? So here's what we have: pagan roots, Christian influence. There's your Krampus Knott right there. Tradition of Krampus Knott emerged, celebrated December 5th, the day before St. Nicholas feast day. So, and it like you said, David, it doesn't have to be. It obviously it can't be the Krampus from the movie, and that's kind of what everybody thinks of because that's what what's it called? That's what kind of.
Give me the long black wire.
Are you talking to me?
No, sorry, tell me right now.
Oh. But yeah, so like this that's not a bad idea. I really think that could be something that happens eventually.
Yeah.
So okay, where was I?
Because you have Figure 5 9s, and then you have Krampus. It'd be like two like scary bedtime stories.
Yeah, like fairy tale stories. Yeah, like exactly. Right. Like Lullaby Lane back there.
Spiders. It's just the Waxworks. That's been under wraps. No one's talking about that one.
Well, and nobody will talk about it either. I mean, we're not going to see what's going on back there
yet.
They don't.
Yes.
According to Glow, we're not going to see it all until they actually announce it at the announcement event. But she said the same thing about this house too. She said they're not going to put up anything incriminating until they're like days away from it. Right. Which is why I think whoever put those balls on that post, because I don't know if you know, Gloria, she's one of the head designers at The Bride. She plays the bride at Scary Farm.
Yes.
And she was actually one of the people that she was one of the heads with Daniel Miller that did Widows last year. So obviously, great minds on whatever this is going to be. But she told me that she said we're going to make sure because we know you guys know like where to go. Like we know you know the vantage points, and we know we can't hide it 100%. But we're going to try to not make it anything in particular until the what's the word I'm looking for? The freaking
The
the announcement event. God,
yeah, my God, Screamfest.
Oh,
no, I don't remember. I don't remember the name of it now. I'm
can we
blanking totally.
talk about this announcement event? You know, to be okay, I'm gonna hot take this. The announcement event should not be an announcement event. That's on me. That's my opinion. I didn't go last year. I just didn't I had other plans on doing something else, but
Yeah,
I just didn't want to go. Only because the fact that
There's some
why?
scream.
Why do I need to have a paywall to something? I can just watch it on stream. Yes, you
yeah,
get
Yeah.
excited. I was there the first year. It was amazing. It was fantastic, but then I started thinking about it, and I'm like, why don't we just pay just like they paid over in Halloween or Orlando for Horror Nights, where they pay to experience some of the attractions and some
mm-hmm.
of the foods. They should do that for a Halloween for a Scary Farm, because this whole thing of let's do an announcement and then everybody run over and go get some lanterns or a T-shirt or anything else. It's like no. Just let everybody run in. You don't need a ceremony. You can do a minor one, but that's it. Like, do the announcements partially online and do the
Mhm.
announcements over at Midsummer Scream. We don't want a 1.5 hour history on a maze. I'm sorry. That's my opinion. It just that kind of hurt my feelings because I'm like, oh my gosh, why do I need a whole hour and a half to listen to one maze? I
Right.
It's
I
true.
get it.
Say that for Midsummer Scream. Save all that history background stuff for then, and
Yeah.
give us the meat and potatoes at the event.
Correct.
Um. Yeah, and it was it's funny because Midsummer Scream has always been that panel where they don't announce anything. They just talk about history and whatever. A lot of merch and stuff. That's why I feel like it's funny because that's like the second largest panel of the whole weekend at Midsummer Scream. I mean, it's a distant second to Horror Nights, but that's because Horror Nights, John Murdy treats that like the announcement event. You
Yeah.
know,
Right.
he says, okay, we're going to come here, and I'm only going to give up one, two, maybe three things. But the difference there is Universal has a very high turnover year after year. They rarely run the same thing twice in a row, um,
Correct.
True.
whether they just change the name or what. And that's the allure to Halloween Horror Nights, and that's the retellability of it is every year is different.
Yeah.
Um, I think it'd be great if Knott's did something like that, but I'll, in a million years they'll never put in that sort of effort. They have a tough enough time with just getting two mazes up and running, within a year. We don't need to put that
They
sort
can't
of
even
undue
finish Camp
pressure
Snoopy
on them
yet,
too.
so
Oh,
What?
they can't even finish Camp Snoopy. It's been over a year. So
oh.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
oh man, I would get into the Camp Snoopy so much right now. It's just
yeah.
bad. There was no opening. There was no opening. There was no nothing that it was bad. It was really bad.
yeah. Camp Snoopy was a bit of a disappointment. I will say
Yeah.
that. Um,
So like them getting two mazes out, it's kind of like it's a big thing because like, oh my God, they got it out.
yeah, and it limped out.
Yeah.
They limped out.
Okay, so what about this? I had this take. I wanted to save it for my next vlog, but you know what? I'll give you the exclusive that's going on in my little head right now. And actually talked to Adam regarding this, and I said, what if Knott's Berry Farm says, you know what? All in, baby, all in. No more type of ceremony where everyone's anchovy in like this the entire time trying to get a ceremony.
Yeah.
Let's go back to our roots. And you guys know I'm getting to this, right? The old school. Let's get everybody right in line and do a ceremony right there on the entrance.
The
Oh
gauntlet.
man. You open up all the gates, people have to wait, and you do a full on. whatever you want to do, and then everybody just rolls in afterwards.
It's not, and that actually helps with the traffic too,
Yes.
because with the ceremonies, a lot of people have trouble like getting trampled and stuff. I know that there's been a couple times where like I've had to help
People
off,
run.
Because they don't like, people were like pushing on Andrea's back, like pushing her into me, and it's just like, dude, settle down. I know everybody's hyped, and look, I get it. It's exciting. It's something, especially if it's like your day year you go, fine. But like, they have to understand that people aren't going to police themselves in that sense. So I feel like maybe Knott's has to do it for them. And in that sense, I think maybe Dave, maybe you're right. Maybe the ceremony happens behind the gates, and the stampede is controlled by the turnstiles. So, and you get a much better first experience going into the park. Like you go into the park and you're only in there with a few people at that point. It's not a blob, an amorphous blob of humans with monsters weaving in and out where they can't, fully extend and stuff. Yeah. So maybe you're onto something there, man. And that would be cool because that would be different. Like, I think the ceremony is pretty dope aesthetically if you're in the front. Otherwise, you're staring at the back of someone's head, or somebody's got their phone.
A camera.
Yeah, you should have cameras. That's all you're staring at.
Exactly. And that's all you're looking at. And it's just like, well,
you're looking at someone else's version. You're like, okay, I can see now.
Yeah. And the thing is like, they're not making extra money off of that. So it's not like something that they can, it's not something that they can't fix. It's not like, we do this because, like with the announcement event, I feel like that used to be free. And then for the 50th, they started charging. And they're like, well, let's do it again.
I remember that, yes.
This year, I think it's going to be different. I really do. I think if they do charge, I don't think ticket sales are going to, I'm sure it'll sell out eventually, but it sold out in like 8 minutes last year.
It did.
But last year, I got lucky. I didn't get tickets. Crash had to get me in. I got lucky. That Evil Baby decided not to go. So I got completely lucky with last year. And I will say that there was a significant drop-off between the 50th. And that's because they didn't celebrate anything special last year. It was just another year. And David, I think you're onto something. I think maybe they do a day, like a preview day. You know what I mean? Like Knott's preview day with announcements. Maybe they run a loop of announcements in the Calico City Hall or whatever, the mayor's office or whatever.
Yes.
Just run a loop throughout this so you can go and you can check it out throughout the night while you're going out and doing other stuff.
Just a pause to cut you off real quick. I've been seeing, since you brought up the mayor's office, I've been seeing the old Ghost Town Alive mayor roaming around a lot at Knott's Berry Farm. So you just mentioned mayor, so that made me think of that one guy. It's like, wait a minute, why is he here so much? I've been there like a lot, so he's been there with a bunch of the characters. So I'm like, is the mayor coming back? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're fine. No, don't worry. All I gotta say is this: no, it's not coming back. We'll talk more of that outside this circle of stream.
I've been seeing him. I was like, wait a minute, why is he here?
He was just visiting. I saw him there when I was doing the Westcom stuff, but we'll talk later about it.
Okay.
He's not coming back.
Chris said maybe they talk about Mesmer at Midsummer Scream. I think, let me talk about all the... Look, say what you will. I loved Mesmer when it first came out. I think this is its last year, so they probably will talk about Mesmer. Huh? Yeah, I think so.
What about the clowns? Because the Mesmer goes with the clowns.
Well, the clowns were there when it was Shadowlands. The clowns have always been there. But that's why you're right. That's why Mesmer worked. It worked with that scare zone.
Worked with the scare zone, right.
Okay, I got something for you guys. What's going on with Origins?
We should ask Tall Guy. He hates that maze.
I don't know. To be honest, Rachel called him out and said, no, you don't. You like this maze.
I know.
So it's kind of funny. But it's, Sarah Marshall that's what created Scary Farm. So, I mean, what do you do? You get rid of Sarah Marshall for a year? Or
no, because you would still have Ghost Town Streets.
it's gone. Like you don't see the structure as much anymore. Like last year, you were able to see the structure before the beginning of Ghost Hunt Alive, but now you don't even
That's true.
see it. That's
No,
just
it's
throwing me off. You're like, nuts, don't do that. You're throwing us off, dude. But
well
okay,
now.
so real quick, let's go back real quick to
Keep
that
talking. I'll be right
Christmas
back.
maze. I wanted to tell people this. So with that Christmas maze, we're doing a grimoire, right?
Right.
So they had grimoire at Widows. We talked about this. Remember you and I?
Right.
The It was at Widows. It was at Boogeyman. What
Yes.
if they open up a book, and if it's Krampus, they open up. I love your shirt, dude. Um, they open up the book, and it's like and it's Krampus, but it's like the grimoire, and it's all like snowflakes.
Wait,
Oh,
where?
Oh
dude.
What?
man.
That would be
No, no,
sick.
no. Okay, so me and Crash had this whole thing, and we didn't even talk about it on our shorts, on our reels. It just kind of like just became a conversation between you and I. Um, so Grimoire was all over the place. Grimoire was in Widows. Everybody keeps doubting that on Reddit and other places. No, it was in Widows, and it was
Hmm.
in the Boogeyman. It was also in Grimoire. It was actually in Origins.
Mhm.
I heard it was in Mesmer, but I kind of doubt that.
It's in Chambers
I
too.
In Chambers,
It's
and
in
then
Chili Chambers too.
also, where was it at in Cinema Slashers?
I didn't see it in Cinema Slasher. I don't know.
I didn't
I
see it in
didn't
Cinema
really
Slasher
look for
either.
it. Slasher's tough because I get halfway through that maze and I get worn out because it takes too long to get through from all the
Was it
stopping
with? I
and
think it was
stuff.
with Wicked. I saw in Wicked the book and Figure Nine, and in Widows the Grimoire book. It
Yeah.
was there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Was it there all year?
Yes,
Yes.
It was
because
there all
I
year.
looked
Okay.
at her, I go, it's Grimoire, and she goes, and I'm like, oh, it is.
Do you think that's a connection then
Yeah.
to the
Yep.
new maze?
Yep.
It's possible.
I thought the most part, so I went through, and she's like, would you want to touch it? And I'm like, yeah. I kind of do. She's like, are you sure? I'm like, am I able to touch a
Perhaps.
book?
I'm gonna have
And
to go
then,
look back on
okay,
it
so
because it was
the
always
story
open
goes,
to the same page that I saw. So I
yeah,
wonder if that page was an Easter egg to the new maze.
It's possible.
I know.
So, interesting.
I love this
Interesting.
talk, man. This talk is so great.
Yeah. This
I
is
have so much in my head.
it's so fun. Not for Chris though. He's ready for it to go
Uh-oh.
away.
Okay.
You know how many people?
Okay, Chris.
You know how many people have they share the same sentiment though. Like it's not a super popular maze. The maze itself is kind of meh, but the lore is pretty sweet.
The lore is cool. Yes.
Yeah.
So there's some. I'm gonna say it, Chris. I'm gonna say it. I'm just gonna
Oh
say it.
man.
There's been some controversy regarding Grimoire. I know Chris may have heard from the water cooler, but I'm pretty sure you guys know too. Grimoire, anytime a scary farm is over, Grimoire is in shambles.
Yep.
There's a lot of people, a lot of kids that start pulling things out. They start stomping on things, kicking things, falling over because they want to be all obnoxious. But from what I heard in the water cooler, I'm going to keep them actually quiet. But Grimoire is, yeah, with them saying it's gone. I agree. If it is going to be gone, I agree with it because every single year it's like there have to be a maintenance person and you got to clean up after kids.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And that's I mean that's kind of the case with a lot of the mazes, but I feel like Grimoire is probably um has the most potential for that stuff because of all the vines that hang down. They got all the props on the shelves.
The shells, right?
Yeah, like so there is a lot. It's funny because there's a lot of detail in that maze if you look.
Yeah.
But yeah, I it's never been my favorite. I like the idea of it. I think it focuses too much on the World War I aspect of everything. And just like there's just like a couple camp scenes. It took me a couple walkthroughs to actually understand what the story was because
Yeah.
if you remember the first year, they actually had a pre-show, and then they got rid of that because they were like, well, this is bogging the line down, so people are standing
it
in line
was.
for 2.5
Oh,
hours.
that's
for
right.
this.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah.
You
So
sit
now
there,
they
you
just
watch the show and then tell you, run.
they tell you to run through the tent.
Yes.
And they used to have a pre-show in Mesmer too. That
Yes.
first scene there in the very beginning under the tent, he would hypnotize a girl and then break her neck or something like that. And then he'd
Oh
But
send you
man,
that
on your
one
I
way.
forgot
worked.
about that.
It
That short
100% worked.
one, that short version
Yep,
worked. The
agreed.
short version of Grimoire. I think I was there opening day, and I
Hmm.
walked over, and she's like, "Ooh, the book this." I'm like, "Ooh, okay." I'm like, grab my camera. I'm like, "Ooh." She's like, "Gotta, can you
Can you go?
can you go?" I'm like, "Oh, we're going. Okay, let's go." I was like, "What's happening here?" I'm waiting for you to go like, "Ah."
Yeah, you got to do the thing where you read the words and
Is it
get possessed or
right?
whatever.
I was being like Shrek, where he goes, "Do the roar, do the roar."
It's ridiculous. But there's a lot of people are speculating a lot because if you think about the houses that are on the chopping block now, it's obviously it's Mesmer, Origins, and I mean maybe even Grimoire because Grimoire came out the same year as Mesmer. So
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
was it? Did it?
I
Yeah,
think
it did,
so.
right? I
Yeah,
think it
I
did.
think so.
I think it was no. I think it was a year after. Wasn't it a
Was
year
it a year
after?
after? Gosh,
What
I
did it
don't
come with?
remember.
Grimmer came with something else.
Yeah, there was two, and it because I remember they had the whole. It was 20. I guess it would be 2021, and they did
Oh,
You are
they did the
Bloodlines.
teaser.
It was Bloodline and
Yes.
Grimoire that came
Yes.
out,
Was
right?
it
Grimoire, yes. There
Bloodlines?
you go. Yes.
Bloodlines.
Yes,
Yes,
yes, you are right. It was Bloodlines.
it
So
was
look,
Bloodlines.
well, Bloodlines got an early exit. What was it? Origins was supposed to leave this year, and they got rid of Bloodlines instead. Um,
Because Bloodlines doesn't work without the guns. It's
Bloodlines
just
does
kind
not
of
work
you
without
just
the
walking
guns.
around. It's really nice, awesome set, but it just didn't really
There
deliver.
you go. 2022.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was 2022, and then 2021 was Mesmer and not Origins, right? No, Origins came before
Origin's been
COVID.
it forever.
Yeah. Well,
I remember
yeah,
in high school,
Origins came in like 2018 or something. But it's
Well, I remember
gosh, it's
back in the day they used to use chainsaws too, and they got rid of them.
yep. Well, when it
I
was
remember
Red
chainsaws being
Barn,
there.
it was Red Barn before it was Origins, and
Yes.
yeah, it was like a Texas Chainsaw Massacre knockoff. That was a cool maze. That was a lot of fun, and it was very basic and generic, but it just worked. I don't know why. It's because it
Yeah.
was a big red, and to this day, I still call Wilderness Dance Hall the Red Barn. Like that's how I refer to it. It's the Red Barn.
Hey, what if they made
Yeah,
Grimoire
2019 Origins. That's right.
into a Bigfoot maze?
That would be sick, bro.
That would work.
Dude, you just blew my freaking mind just now.
That would work.
Yeah.
You have
Why?
Bigfoot Rapids and you have the maze.
Dude,
That
and
works.
you got Sasquatch on the chilling in the waterfall.
The waterfall,
Right there
yeah.
anyway. All year round. Why
Dude, that would be awesome.
is that not dude, what is
Right?
going on? Why have they not done that yet?
Yep.
Dude,
True. Yep.
we need to start a petition for that.
Oh,
Like
I
now.
agree.
Everybody in the chat, you need to go spam Not Scary Farm's social medias, spam Daniel Miller, spam Glow, spam everybody you can. We need Sasquatch
that's
at
fun.
Not Scary Farm in 2026.
Right?
Okay, so the story can go this. You walk in, and since I'm pretty sure they still have the old school Bigfoot rapids, right? So
Yep.
the story can go that these hikers, these rafters found something in a tunnel and unraveled a Sasquatch.
Mhm.
And then you can have it to where you can get the old school looking Bigfoot rapids in shambles, and then off to the side, you're like, what the heck? And then here you come, darting everywhere. The
Yep.
Sasquatch.
The Sasquatch. I
Yep.
like it. See, that's what we need.
Yeah.
Boom. Swamp Theme Maze with Sasquatch. Boom.
Oh my God. Hey, they did it. They did that. What was it in? Was it the depths? No,
The
no.
depths.
What was that?
It was the depths.
Was
yeah.
it depths, right? That's
It only
awesome.
worked the
Dude,
first
we need
year.
that.
But
Yeah.
when that effect works, it's my favorite effect of all time.
Yeah.
I love that effect. The
Oh, it
light
worked for
with
me
the
every single
fog.
year. With the light with the bottom, I don't
Yeah.
like that. Any single time I see the light in the bottom, I go, I hate you guys so much.
So the first year they did it, legit you couldn't see underneath at all anywhere, and I had no idea. I was
No.
like they
could
opened that
never
room
see.
up a little bit after that. It was weird, but
Yeah.
yeah, you couldn't see underneath that green light at all. So these things would like they would just bring the hands up, shoop,
Hands up,
you know what I mean?
yes.
And but dude, that is my
better
favorite.
yet, for that Sasquatch thing, you're going on a river boat tour and your boat gets destroyed. So the tour guide is telling you now you have to escape through the swamp to avoid being captured by or eaten by Sasquatch.
Yeah, there you go. Either way, bring on Sasquatch, please. We desperately need.
He's there.
The
You get his
Squatch.
footprint. You have him underneath the
Yeah.
waterfall.
I
You have him on the ride.
He's in the cave there at the end of the ride, dude. I think you just opened up Pandora's box, David. Now. Dude, I'm not even joking. We need this.
I smell a new vlog from David and Josh and Crash.
I think we all need to go to the park and just talk about this.
Right.
We need to figure this whole thing out. We need to ride
if they did that
Calico Rapids and talk about it.
Right, but the line queue for Calico Rapids is pretty long, so you can throw some Easter eggs in there, fog, smoke, make it more scarier to intervene into the maze right next door.
And they use that that little section there in front of the waterfall as like a lantern interaction, so you can theme that to Sasquatch too. That
where
whole
it roars,
bro. That whole area back there would be the most popular area in the park.
Yes.
You know what? F it. Make it a new scare zone. F it. New scare zone. The wilderness. Sasquatch Woods.
The wilderness?
Print it.
You can just hire someone tall.
See, Chris, we're thinking the same.
You put him like this, right, onto a tree, and he sits there like this, underneath the tree, and goes. That's it. Just takes pictures. Just hiding from a distance. That'd be dope.
I'm in. I'm way in.
Yeah.
Look at how many people are right now in the chat right now. Look at this chat. Dude, it's going crazy.
Yeah.
And we don't even work for Not Spare You Farm.
That's
nuts, dude.
And this is what I was thinking too. Stilt walkers in ghillie suits with freaking Sasquatch masks. Dude, I'm gonna be Sasquatch for Halloween this year. Because like now I'm like way on board with this.
Now I'm gonna blow your mind even more.
Oh man. All right.
What if we actually kind of maneuver over off of I know chat's gonna hate me right now. I'm so sorry for this. But we kind of move away from Goring 20s and that room 13 goes away. And what if it's the Kingdom of the Dinosaurs gone mad? Like what if that whole attraction from Grimoire opened up and it opened up some spiritual stuff and you have dinosaurs coming after you and people from the Ice Age coming to get you.
Didn't they have something like that back in the day? They had like a crazy dinosaur maze.
They did. Was it Kingdom of Dinosaurs? But you're in the dark, and whenever time you went into the circle and you're going back in time, the light would like blind you so blindly you couldn't see when you went back into the dark.
Another great effect.
Yeah, but see, we need that. But that'd be dope.
Yes, I think so. I agree. But yeah, I think if you get rid of one or the other, you've got to get rid of both.
Yeah.
And I mean, look, I love Goring. Okay, I'll say this: I love the characters in Goring 20s because a lot of them are my friends. But that place could stand to be something else. I think it could survive being something else besides the Goring 20s.
Yeah.
It is what you make it. I know we focused a lot on Forsaken Lake and how that area needs to change. But yeah, I think maybe get a couple. Okay, Quentin, we won't forget Chaka. Don't forget Chaka, you guys.
I think they like the Roaring. I'm sorry, the Roaring 20s because they utilize the stage on top for live entertainment. So you're actually using that section.
Some Land Before Time.
And you have like that dancing. No, Land for Time. No, Chaka is
No, he said Slee Stacks.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Land of the Lost.
Land of the Lost. I'm sorry. Land of the Lost.
Yeah. Land for Time is Littlefoot.
Littlefoot. Whatever it is.
I'm like, wait a minute, Chaka's in Land for Time?
Yeah, my movies mixed up. Same. Weird.
Okay, so what if they move I mean, again, don't kill me in the chat, please. But what if they move the Carnival because they're going to get rid of Mesmer, right? Mm-hmm. They move the Carnival to where Goring 20s actually is because they can use the top or even the bottom.
Oh, true.
I'm just saying. Then you can have the carnival theme to where you go, hey, walking into a kingdom of dinosaurs, and you're like, oh my gosh, it's everywhere. And then you hear that guy, well, going back in. Oh God, that's it. I just need that guy. Maybe it's just me just wanting to hear that guy one more time.
Maybe, but hey, it's.
Wow.
But
But they do need to update for Second Lake. Like for
Yes.
Second
Oh,
Lake,
100%,
it
that's
always
gotta
seems
go.
like a dead zone,
Oh,
and
Yeah.
the one at
it's
Camp
coming.
Snoopy.
Yeah,
I forget what it's called. That
100%.
one needs an update.
Which one?
The one in Camp Snoopy,
Gauntlet.
Gauntlet. There it is.
Gauntlet just needs more attention.
Yes.
Dude,
It
it's
made
always
sense.
empty, and it's
Like
more of
they
a
could.
makeout area, and the splatter show needs more.
It just
More
needs more.
light.
Yeah, it needs more light. They were saying the Winston, the lighting director, was telling me that the first year, they couldn't really do much with it because Camp Snoopy was being built, so they didn't have power
Oh,
to a lot of that area. So,
right.
so last year was the year they really started to kind of implement, because they put those little castle structures in there, the lanterns
sure,
in there.
yeah.
So he said this year it should be even more. They should be showing a little bit more love. So I think the Gauntlet will eventually kind of show its peak potential. Hopefully this year, because they got the okay to do a lot more. But
Right.
we'll see. I mean, they've got to deal with some other stuff too. So if you put too much on their plate, you're going to end up getting Fright Fest, and
Well,
we
they
don't want that.
promised. They said Scary
Whoa,
Farm this
whoa,
year
Fright
was supposed to
Fest wasn't
be
too bad.
much better.
Hold
Yeah, they
on.
said that there's more
Fright Fest
budget
wasn't
going
too bad.
to Scary Farm. That's what I was told.
Wait, say that again, Crash.
I was told that the more of a budget is going to Scary Farm this year, and they're helping Six Flags with their Scary Farm because last year wasn't so great. So they're helping them be a much better park for their Fright Fest, and they're working on Scary Farm. That's like their first thing right now. Scary Farm and Merry Farm. Those are the two things that they're working on. Those are the other highlights in the projects this year.
Right.
They promised, or they said, a bigger budget Scary Farm this year.
Yeah. So two things is that you're right about Forsaken Lake. There is something coming on it. I'm not saying like a whole different story, new different
Mhm.
characters, but the look is going to be changed. From what I understand, the look is going to change, and it's going to be better for the actors and the safety of the actors as well.
Okay.
Good, because
I
that's an issue over there
yeah.
with the
is.
fog and the
fog.
darkness and
Second
stuff.
thing
It's too easy to bump into people.
Yes.
is Fright Fest. You said something about Fright Fest, right? So I saw something and I saw true potential, and I actually even talked to the designer, and I talked to the person who was actually running the entire Dia de los Muertos, right? Muertos. Muertos, yes. Okay. Um, and what I saw there 3 or 4 times is potential. And I'm like, oh my gosh, if Fiesta Village, Crash, you talked about this. You were touching bases on it. And you have it right, man. I think at the most part, they bring in Dia de los Muertos and let's do it. Let's freaking do it, man. Because you don't need a slide to scare people. You don't. You really don't. People
Right.
don't. People in this chat right now, people all over the world that's watching, you don't need to jump scare anybody to scare them. What you
No.
need is just having that facade up and then doing like a quick, look back and forth because Dia de los Muertos looked fantastic at Fright Fest. Like, yes, it was hit and miss, but they had potential, a lot of potential there. And I'm like, dude, this is gonna be big. This is gonna be pretty big, dude. Someone's gonna steal this idea.
Yeah,
And yeah, Fiesta Village. I mean, it's there. That's like the dead zone in the park.
yeah.
Yeah.
Fiesta Village.
Well,
Safe zone.
that was kind of my idea, was because you're right, and I think the main problem with the Fiesta de los Muertos was location. Like you got to kind of go out of the way to get there, because it was
Yeah.
kind of off to the side. It just in a little, like, just here's your little chintzy corner of Bugs Bunny World. Just go over there, and we'll see you later.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you put that over by, like, say, the front of Metropolis where the DJ is, I mean, yeah, that you've got something there. They'll never do that because that's where the clowns go, and the clowns kind of, they rule the roost at that park. But you could even, I mean, you can put it in on the other side of Metropolis there or something.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of places people like Fiesta de los Muertos, especially in Southern California. That's a big hit. And Knott's having a built-in land, perfect for it. It's weird that it hasn't been used yet for that. And I think it could be something that could potentially be the highlight of a lot of people's nights. You could have, you remember when Fiesta Village reopened and they had those little cavalcades with the dancing people and the birds and stuff,
a little
and
fireworks show, right?
The fireworks show and the light show, the projection show on the pyramid. You could do that again. You could totally do that, and it would be freaking awesome.
Yes.
My whole thing was, and then you tie the Forsaken Lake area into that with some sort of La Llorona story, some sort of Weeping Widow story. Just tie that in.
Oh, right.
That's just like an accessory, but I always felt that would kind of bode well together. Because like you said, you don't need to jump and boo scare people to creep them out. And that's not La Llorona's MO at all. And I feel like that's a scare zone where like that's kind of a safe way of doing it. It's just having La Llorona, having weeping women walking around with like maybe babies with, water dripping from them. Maybe they're soaking wet. And you could just have the whole thing glowing blue or green or what. You don't have to have it super foggy, but pretty foggy. Have the fog roll over the water there. And they don't have to jump and boo and slide and scare. They can just wander around.
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
Well, shout out to two people I know, and I love you guys. You guys are the peak of Forsaken Lake. Other people, of course, they're my friends. But we're talking about weeping, the weeping woman. Two women are fantastic at that. I'll actually say that I'm not gonna say their names. Instagrams. Miss Distort and Haunted Productions. Wow.
Yep. Becca.
That is amazing.
Yes. No, don't worry about that. Don't worry about it. I didn't say it. But you're right. And I think Haunted Productions was something else before that. Gosh, she did something like, was she a clown? I don't remember.
I don't know. But
Mr. Stewart was the same. She kills it every year. Absolutely.
Miss Distort was the very first year.
Kills it. Oh, this was her. Oh, I'm thinking of somebody else then.
When I first seen her and she was like moving around and then she was just standing there for a minute and then she would run. I go, oh my gosh. And then I pulled myself down with my phone and I'm like filming her and she's just like moving her body in a weird way. And watching your vlog, when you're talking about La Llorona, like they do have it. They do have La Llorona. But
agree.
Maybe Miss Distort has something brewing for us because like Haunted Productions, it took her a minute, slowly but surely everything started dwindling down.
Yeah.
So if Miss Distort can actually do this to where her character gets more and more weeping, oh gosh, that's terrifying.
I think it'd be great. Freaking fantastic. Oh my gosh. Well, guys, I hate to do this. But I do have to cut it short. And we didn't even really get into anything but Halloween stuff because we just love talking Halloween, man. And that's
Montezuma's Revenge is coming in 2025, in late 2025.
Boom.
Mark my words on that.
I agree.
Because
I'm with you there.
Her speculation Christmas, I
think Merry Farm, right? Is what we're all thinking.
Speculation.
Yeah, speculating.
Okay, quick. I did an analysis on everything else on how they did it. It's going to take a while. It's going to take over 6 months for them. I have to do this really fast because I know you want to cut it. 6 months. We're looking at about 6 months for them to actually do any type of construction to it. Another 6 months to get the permits and to get the launch party, the launches ready, the movement on the attract. They have to get the right vehicles tested and ready to go. Everything is permit.
Yeah.
So we're looking at late 2026. Okay, that's it. I'm good.
Wait, for Montezuma?
Yes.
No, Ghost Rider. Yeah, Ghost Rider was up today. Yes, it's supposed to be back today.
Yeah, Ghost Rider was running today.
Well, I was talking about Montezuma's. Montezuma's, it's going to take a while. Everyone wants it to be in the summer. No, it's no way. Because there's permit upon permit upon permit, and then they have to get the scaffolding done. They have to get the right permits. Just like Fast and Furious, they have to be able to move the vehicles.
They got to test the heck out of it. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yes.
Are you saying 20? Are you saying Merry Farm 2026? Or are you saying?
Correct.
2025.
I was saying
Wait.
2025.
2025,
You think?
2026.
Whoa,
I was
whoa,
told-
whoa.
Well,
You
I
think?
think
2025.
all the stuff that you were talking about. I thought that they had already started doing that.
But see, they don't have a track yet. Like once they
No,
lay the
not
track
yet.
down, then they have to be able to get more, and they have to build the track. They have to build everything else. And we
Yeah.
know Knott's Berry Farm more than a lot of other people. That's why we're all three of us are here, and it's going to take them a whole entire year and a half.
Yeah, you're probably
to
right.
get anything done.
True.
I assume they were already working on that stuff, and as soon as the track went up, they could start testing while they're building everything else out. But you're probably right. It's probably Merry Farm 2026 would be more likely a landing spot.
Yeah.
We'll have to see. We'll have to
2026
keep.
if they combine Jaguar and Montezuma's together.
That would be
That's
crazy.
Okay, how about this?
2026.
If they bring out Montezuma's Revenge in late 2025 or in the first 2 months of 2026, I'll write it.
Yeah,
That's it.
Oh, there you go.
Or when David hits
You heard it
50K
here.
followers on YouTube, he would do a face cam ride POV on hang time. No, accelerator. It's called accelerator. Accelerator.
No, he's
And
writing
then,
Monty.
and then I'm going to be the very first YouTuber to be banned from Knott's Berry Farm.
I don't think you'd be the first, man.
No, I'm just kidding, guys. I don't know about writing it. Sorry. No, I'm just kidding.
He's gonna write it. Don't let him fool
You
you.
know, right? That's a 50K milestone right there.
I'll ride it with you, dude. I can't ride loop coasters anymore. I'll ride it with you. We'll do it together.
Well, you
We'll
need
hold
to laugh.
hands.
'Cause I'm like,
All right, boys. Well, this has been super fun. Thank you guys so much for sticking around for this, for doing this with us. Thank you to everybody that stuck around and watched, everybody that contributed to the chat. We're all around all the time. You can hit all of us up on all of our social medias. David, let's have you announce your social medias and stuff again. Where can they all find you?
it's Adventurez David. Take out the S, put a Z. Adventurez David on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and Facebook as well.
X.
And X.
Crash. Where can they all find?
You find me on X, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and Twitch.
I love it so much.
Yes.
And same thing with me. Chastain's in LA. YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Twitch, and don't go to my Twitch. My Twitch is broken. And X. On that note, guys, have a great weekend. Probably see you around at the farm sometime, or maybe even at Universal Studios. Until then, have a great night, everyone.
Have a good night, guys.